Inside the Deck is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, sellers of Magic the Gathering and many other card and board games. GatheringMagic.com, #1 resource on Magic the Gathering, strategy, and culture.
In testing, we played a lot of decks. We had, Jund, Shardless, all the big, sneak attack, all those decks played, and the lock that I put people on off Chalice and Trinisphere, most people didn't learn how to play around it until like later games, like games 3, 4, and 5. The first couple of games, it was more of a what's going on right now, and had good testing. I've been playing the deck for a while, a little over a year now. I almost did make a switch to a different deck, and last minute everyone was like, play what you know, and that's what I did. My name is Wayne Polimine. I'm playing Metalworker Mud, Forgemaster Mud, whatever you want to call it. What the deck does is tries to lock people out on their mana with either turn 1 Chalice for 1 into turn 2 Trinisphere into Lodestone Metalworker to explode from there, or turn 1 Trinisphere. I've had as early as turn 2 double Lodestone Golems before, just to lock people off of their mana to make them play what I call fair magic. Make their broken spells cost reasonable amounts. My mana base is the 12 post mana base. Then I have the Soul Lands, the 4 Ancient Tomb, 4 City of Traitors. Then there's, I think it's just 4 Wasteland. And I think that's 24 lands, which is a pretty high number, but I gotta cast my high costing spells. Well, the creatures in the deck are, the Accelerants, which is like Metalworker, that can just give you ridiculous nut draws. The Denial creatures that go along with the Trinisphere and Chalice of the Voids are Lodestone Golem and Sundering Titan. I play Sundering Titan as a 3 of 4 Lodestone Golems, and they both double as finishers. A 5/3 is nothing to laugh at. Then we have Forgemaster that, can fetch out the Blightsteel, fetch what I need on the fly. And then the major finisher, not major, is Blightsteel Colossus, obviously. We have him as a 1 of, and then 3 Wurmcoils. So usually most games are won off of Wurmcoil and Sundering Titan just being the 2 3 ofs that are just too big to handle. Non-creature artifacts in the deck is 4 Chalice, 4 Trinisphere, 4 Monoliths, 2 Staff of Nins, and then the 1 Staff of Domination. So in my sideboard, I have All Is Dust. It's mainly for fair matches, Jace matchups, creature matchups where I just need to get through, deals with planeswalkers. Phyrexian Revoker, it's Pithing Needle that doesn't die to Chalice on 1. For Gristlebrand's, I've used it for Deathrite Shamans, just anything that could be an issue or an early accelerant planeswalkers again. Ratchet Bomb, for elves, mana dorks, little things. I have the 2 Spellskites for decks with removal if I don't hit Chalice on 1, so I can protect the Metalworker. Protect it from swords, abrupt decay, what have you. 1 of Batterskull for the aggro decks. I have the 2 Tormod's Crypts for Reanimator, Dredge, stuff like that, self-explanatory. I have 2 Spine of Ish Sah for the Show and Tell matchup, for that whenever they flip on Show and Tell, I'm trying to flip Spine. And then I have Platinum Angel, which is kind of my catch-all to, I've boarded in against elves or High Tide, or, when High Tide goes to combo off, I can Forgemaster for the Platinum Angel. The deck does have some grind plans. I do run 2 Karn's main board for, like stuff like Stoneblade and decks like that that can grind you out and go long games. Usually you're just like Karn here. But usually I'm trying to go explosive. I'm trying to close out the game in the first few turns. So one of the things that makes it successful is legacy decks are greedy, like Rug Delver runs 6 real lands outside of Wasteland. I had a Delver player against me yesterday that went turn 1 Delver, I went turn 1 Trinisphere. And he, you couldn't come back from that. He never hit a 3rd land to cast anything else. You can't force through Trinisphere, so after that your spells are resolving. Most legacy decks having such a low mana curve, when you start forcing them to pay more for it, it's just a blowout.